Welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Online.EPG. So, we are going to be doing something different today. We are not going to do another ground build. That will be in the next video in a couple of minutes to an hour. Who knows? Maybe you might be here forever. Maybe you might be here forever and ever and ever and ever, stuck with me forever. But we're going to be doing a ship review for the quite quainted time, which pretty much has been like pretty much a while since I've done any ship reviews. But of course, this is why I'm doing it, because this one is special, you see here. So we're going to do a review on the Hydra Intel Destroyer, also known as Do the Hydra by me. So this ship is a destroyer, which means it will have a destroyer mastery package, which of course it would have some weapon systems, weapon banks, devastating weaponry, some crit severity, energy weapons, and kinetic and energy damage. All that stuff. Sorry, I'm bad at my language when it comes to clearing my throat. So its stats is not that great because of course my endeavors are not finished, especially when it comes to the crit chance, crit severity. Well, my crit severity is pretty high, but my crit chance is pretty low. So I pretty much did the dumb thing and got rid of all my protomatter consoles, which I should be switching those real quick. Oh, oops. Maybe I'll just keep one protomatter console to just keep my ship alive, which is okay. But anyways, this ship is a destroyer, which it comes with destroyer mastery package, as you have seen before, of course, which was 12 seconds ago. And it comes with a 5-2 weapons layout, just like my beautiful Acheron. I love her. And it also comes with experimental weapons. So because it's a destroyer escort, which escorts are destroyers slash escorts, and okay, you pretty much get my drift. But it comes with experimental weapon, which it does not come with Voice of the Prophets. That's from the Damios. That's not the Damios, but the Bajoran Interceptor. I'm sorry for that. Which it is also another form of destroyer, which is a tactical escort, which is probably somebody already covered in another video. So this one comes with arm tuning munition. You know, I can't read, but of course it's arm munition, which this thing deploys little phaser pets that detonates on foes. So pretty much it fires some phaser damage, and when it expires, it'll pretty much ram the target. It's kind of similar to the Kelvin Timeline drones on the Vengeance, which it's pretty cool. Which it is not pretty cool because, of course, when it expires, it pretty much rams the target, which doesn't make it seem like it's cool because, you know, you kind of need it for its console, which is pretty much why I am doing this video today. So, of course, we're going to switch back to this because because Voice of the Prophets is the best experimental weapon in the game by far, according to some sources. But, of course, never mind that. We're going to be dealing with the console. We're going to be actually reviewing the console, the harmonic yield redistributor via radio aperture. That is very long to read. Oh my god. Also known as the Hydra. So, of course, the reason why this console is special and I talk about it so much, especially on my Instagram stories and posts, well, minus the posts, but of course, all my Instagram stories pretty much has like something to do with the Hydra ever since I got the ship. So, of course, what does it do? Of course, it's split. Of course, for those who have carriers, this is actually a massive up. This is actually a massive help. And most importantly, in my eyes, I see this as a weapon of mass destruction for carriers. Because, of course, on my Acheron, I run a cannon scatter volley build. So, of course, the same as I'm running on here. So, apparently it does some phaser damage. Of course, this is not what it says on paper. Okay, it does more than that. It does more than 20k. It does more than that. So, nonetheless, it pretty much, of course, the more pets you have, the more damage it does. On my Acheron, I only have 4, and even with 4, I done a slap ton of damage, because of course I tested this on the Toju fighters, and those didn't do much damage despite them being small, and they keep getting killed. So it really didn't matter much. But of course, if you have like frigates or even the drone ships from your Romulan for your Romulan ships or your Romulan like your Romulan carrier pets or something like that. You can equip the drone ships. Even those, they're pretty much strong all on its own. Any frigate that you have is strong on its own. So and of course it has a passive which plus 30 to, of course, flight speed, turn rate, and damage to all your hangar pets. It's the same as the Swarmer Matrix. Of course, I do not have it equipped on it because it's a destroyer. It doesn't have a hangar bay, as you can see. But it's the reason why it's my favorite ship is because, of course, it's pretty much a destroyer all on its own. Not to mention, it's another version of the Prometheus, and it's a board killer. Yeah, that's right, it's a board killer. And also its bridge officer seating, it makes it a little bit more flexible, despite the fact that having one universal, oopsie, it has like 2 universals. So of course I'm able to put like chemosite laced weaponry, and I'm able to have my torps here and my cannons there. Of course I normally just switch between them because of course it's like saying you're trying to, you know, it's like that Polar Express scene where like the dude, he shifts right or he shifts left, right, left, of course, so on and so forth. The reason why I have 2 engineering seatings because, of course, I want it to be more stay alive focused. So of course I have reversal polarity, emergency power to shields. So that's why I have those. I have emergency power to weapons too to boost my energy damage, and my, of course, plus 30 to power for weapons for 30 seconds. That it boosts that. And it repairs weapon systems in case they become disabled. Looking at you, Iconians. And let it go. I just wanted something random other than just emergency power to engines, because of course you can't have 2 of the same thing. That would just be pretty stupid. So of course I have emergency power to engines because I have emergency power. Of course I have evasive maneuvers, and every time I activate emergency power to engines, it automatically refreshes instantly for evasive maneuvers. So, and also because this is a intel ship, as it says in the description, it comes with a battle cloak. Well, actually that's a lie. It just comes with a regular cloak, like all intel ships have. And also, because it's a Prometheus ship, it actually comes with multi-vector assault mode, but it's only for 60 seconds. Of course, if you have the permanent version of it, you're able to equip it, or any other Prometheus sets, you're able to equip that, which it's not really a problem. And for my other consoles, I have the Ion Sword generator from the VORN, the shield absorbed any frequency generator. I cannot read much. That is from the Valdor, the tier 3 Valdor. You can get it for, you know, 75k Zen. If you're part of a fleet that has dilithium discount, you could probably get it for like 65k, which is pretty cool. I got graviton displacer from the Shran, the cutting tractor beam from Lotbox. Well, actually, I got that off the exchange, pretty much. I also got this from Lotbox. These are from the Spire. The Lorca's Tactical Fire Controls. This is from the Disco Rep. The Protomatter is from the Dranur Colony. And I'm pretty much sure that's about it. That is a lie. That is not. So, of course, we got the Red Matter from the Phoenix Store. We got the Temporal Negotiator from the Delta Recruit. We got the Subspace Field Modulator from, I believe it's one of the Spectre missions. Of course, where you have to hunt ghosts, which I'm still pretty much scared of, despite it being an MMORPG game. Yeah, I tried saying that like 5 times and I stuttered a lot. In fact, I stutter always, all the time, so it should be nothing new here. So, we got Tilly Shield modifier for the increase of shield damage. We got the Colony Deflector for the crit chance, crit severity. Of course, we got the Prevailing Engines for the speed buff. We got the Mycelium War Core for the 2-piece, which it involves 120% regeneration of the hull. So that's pretty much about it. And what the Vanity Shield I'm using, because it's black, I'm using the Section 31 Vanity Shield. And because, of course, I like Black Ops stuff and I love just black things in general, including black people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with black people. It's just, I just love too much black. I have a black TV, black controller. I have a black cup in the right side of my hand. So, yeah. I love black. Screw you if you don't like black. And I wish this whole thing was black. Black Queen. Right there. Anyways, so, of course, we're going to go to the review of this. And then after that, we're going to switch back to the Acheron to pretty much demonstrate the console itself. So the console itself, it's my favorite console in the game right now. And I pretty much have it on my spam bar, spam bar. I have it in my, pretty much here, in the L1 part. So, I'm able to activate it instantly, pretty much. So, I'm pretty much sure I shouldn't really have the Hydra on here, but I have multi-vector assault mode, so it counts somewhat. It really does. So, of course, we're going to try to test this in a place where it's going to hurt a lot. And I might even hate this, even so, because I do not have the... Of course, I have the Trailblazer Terran Trailblazer warship. Yeah, a lot of things I have to sound out, which, of course, I can read. It's just... English is bad. But, of course, this is already set as it should be. So, of course, it doesn't really have any space, if you know what I'm saying. So, all that being said, I do not know where I can really much put the Trailblazer console, because the Trailblazer console makes me immune to damage, and of course the TFO I'm gonna be playing, I'm gonna need that console, but of course I won't need it right now. So, not when you have common sense. So we're going to try a ISC pretty much. Because I believe I have finished it. The mastery package and stuff. And I forgot to tell you guys what the mastery package is. So the trait and console, it's a... The trait and console, it's most likely carrier based. So this is the trait, which is Strike Group Command Authority, which depending on what you have in your arsenal, if it's multi-vector or saucer, you have 50%. If it's frigate, you have 40% bonus damage, and if it's a fighter, you have 30%. So it's based off the strongest pets that you have in your arsenal. So of course, the personal space traits and personal space reputations, I'm not going to go over those. So... And I do not have it at up to tier 6X, so... Oh well.
Scanning the nanite transformer.
We're just gonna go.
Additional data is available.
The Alpha Borg.
Here we go. Would you look at that? All gone in one salvo. Ow! And now the last one.
Disarm your weapons. You must know assimilating your culture and technology.
Oh, Gamma's out. Alright, so it's a pretty cool ship with a pretty cool... Well, actually, it went pretty well better than expected it to be, because, I mean, when the first time I tried multi-vector assault mode, of course, the AI, it's pretty old, and it's pretty garbage, and it's pretty shit. So, I'd say it did pretty good. It did pretty good this time. So, I have to give it up for that. But, as for the trait and as for the console, it did some good, somewhat, because of course when it kicked in when I activated the multi-vector assault mode, because of course it gave 50% bonus damage, and also the Hydra console, it pretty much didn't do much, but of course if it was on a carrier it would actually do pretty well. So I have to say props to that. But most likely we're going to test this on the Acheron, because of course not only it's my favorite ship to fly, most likely it's my flagship, but there are other carriers to try if you do not own the Acheron. The Acheron is a Terran ship. Of course, it's the Emperor's ship, as seen in the Star Trek Endurance episodes. In one of those episodes, of course, where you have to face off against the Emperor. I tried to do that, and I got hit like 2 times trying to kill it, and knowing that it's shit, and I was trying to damage it because anything that's immune is not technically immune to all kinds of damage. So of course I gave it everything I got, and it so far it didn't take much damage. But all the while, this ship is a pretty good ship, and it's good as a Borg destroyer. It's not really good for anything else. It's like it was meant to fight the Borg, if you know what I'm saying. So if you pretty much hate Borg that much, or you know, you want to say revenge for the Wolf 359, then yeah, I'd say go for that. I would say go for that. So of course here I have pretty much nothing but trying to spawn trying to spawn allies, I meant. Sorry about that. This is considered like anything that has an engine on it, if you know what I'm saying. But most of the stuff is carrier and tanking abilities. Like for example, the suspension burst, this is for carriers. This one is also, it came off of a carrier. These 2 consoles came off carriers. This one was from the first ship I got, which was the Dukari ship, which the protomatter field projector. It has some healing, it has some passives. Of course I might change that because I don't really like using heals, if you know what I'm saying. I might actually just use my little Death Star super laser thingy, but of course it has a pretty good passive, so that's why I keep it there. But I don't really like healing other teammates, if you know what I'm saying. I normally just, you know, I'll let them die because I'm a bastard, and that's what I am. I just let them die. So, nonetheless, that's just what I do. But of course, I would use the multi-directional torp barrage, but you know what? Actually, we're gonna go with that because why not? So here I have nothing but Borg consoles, which is the retrofitted assimilator. Some things cannot be assimilated, but it does do heavy kinetic damage, which of course kinetic damage is a form of physical damage and stuff like that, blah blah blah. So of course its passive is exotic damage, so exotic damage is physical damage, which is kinetic damage. They're all the damn same. So it's anything other than weapons. So that cuts off with that. And the Borg cutting tractor beam. This in its own pretty much quote unquote has an engine. So of course the reason why it's there is because of its passive. Of course, which is activating a universal console adds 10% bonus damage to universal consoles for 25 seconds. It can stack up to 10 times. So of course this is a universal console. This is a universal console. So of course I have a total of 4. I can't count, but you know, it's 4, 8, 12. So I think I have like 12 consoles on here, but this doesn't count as a universal because it's a tactical. So anything I could put, it's on there, but it's here for the 2-piece. It's here for it by itself and its 2-piece, which is war discretion. The torpedo, is dark matter quantum torpedo, which adds some physical damage. And these weapons are new. Why? Because they are. They're fucking new. So these are actually Zat Fast dual heavy disruptor cannons. Of course I have dual heavy cannons and disruptor cannons. Do not blame me. I normally am a heavy cannon kind of person, but you know, Lockbox says no. But of course I have some turrets, some heavy disruptor cannons, and some cannons, which it has some. It has like a proc like Viridium isotope, which for 45 seconds it adds some 4% bonus damage, which can stack up to like 5 times. Which it only works for Zat-Vash weapons, which is pretty cool. So what I have here is the Terran frigates. I can launch 2 for each hangar. So of course that means I'll have 4 pets. Which is pretty strong in my case, and these 2 I have only like carriers for like launching drones and shit. So Of course, I am a very organized piece of garbage, so I like to have things in an organizing way. So that I like to have things being organized. If you try to get that memo straight, I'm a very organized person. I organize my room, I organize my ships, I organize my officers, I organize. I am a organizing person. I can't help it. It runs in the family. It runs in my family, and I cannot help it, and I'm so sorry, and I cannot satisfy you by being a mess. Actually, yes I can. Look at this garbage. Look at all this garbage. It is a mess. It is a wreck, and I hate it so much. Next stream, that will be fixed. So, of course, same as last time, but of course, I add some Peregrine fighters because, yeah, I just wanted some more pets on here. Of course, if this had like pilot seating, I could actually have reinforcement squadrons, which I forgot to actually say that in this ship, in the bridge officer seating, it's universal engineering. Actually, no, it's engineering / pilot. You're able to add reinforcement squadrons. So, of course, that's more juice for your Hydra console, because of course it depends on how many pets you have. Even if you borrow somebody else's pets, which is quote unquote, people would say it's called stealing, but I'd say so. Acheron, back to that. Of course, everything is organized. This is pretty much drones and pets. This is Borg technology, and this is pretty much nothing but like carriers, torps, and pretty much tanky stuff. Carriers and tanky stuff. So, and this is just part of the 2-piece set. So, of course, its mastery is gravitic entanglement, which I'm not supposed to be doing a review on the Acheron anyway, but it's pretty cool. That's all I have to say. It's pretty cool. And its traits is based off carriers, which I cannot find it. There we go. So, of course, this is not really a carrier trait, but it's dilithium burn. I had this trait slotted in my ship, and it's pretty much priority number 1. It is the most powerful trait you can get yet. Yes, I say it again. It is the most powerful trait you can pretty much get. Because, you know, it explodes things, and it pretty much hurts people, like, butthurt damage. So that's another thing. Calm before the storm, it pretty much gives you fire cycle haste. This stuff, it pretty much gives bonus damage to your pets. This stuff, it pretty much adds a charge to your power weapons, which it is pretty cool. And if stacked, and of course stacked additional times, of course it will have overflow, which means that, like, for example, the number of Borg enemies you can defeat all at once, that's pretty much overflow. And of course I love the Federation. I love Confederation technology. There's no way to explain it. I just fucking love it, and screw you if you don't like it. So next one is Terran Goodbye off the Mirror Warship. This one is a lockbox ship. Once more, it gives some crit severity, crit chance, stack up to 3 times. It's a good trade. And this one is off the Hydra. This one is off pretty much from a lockbox, a Confederation lockbox. I did not get to do this one in review, but I like it because it's Confederation. Calm Before the Storm from the flight deck carrier, the Cardassian Gaylord. I think it's not the Gaylord, but I believe it's one of the new Cardassian flight deck carriers. And this one is also a lockbox item. This is also a lockbox item, which is regeneration cycle. And using any tactical engineering or science, you get some healing, some repair for 5 seconds, and some blah blah blah. Rest I won't explain with the reputation because it takes too long, and the length of the video is supposed to be at least 13 minutes, but it's probably longer than that. So we're pretty much going to test this ship against some more Borg, because, well, 359, that's what you get. Yeah. But pretty much sure they are my test subjects. Yeah, they're fucking lab rats. So we're just gonna go ahead and play Cure Found, which of course in and itself it has 3 sets of enemies and stuff like that. It's parked onto one space. I'm pretty much going to demonstrate the Hydra console for you, and of course, we're gonna go on from there. Of course, I have the bridge officer layout I have is pretty much set for unconventional systems, and some of it is set for, you know, staying alive, pretty much. So the tactical consoles, it's pretty much how it's supposed to be. The science is just a tractor beam for unconventional systems. So I pretty much have everything sorted out for unconventional systems versus anything else. And there are some temporal abilities for physical damage, such as recursive shearing. So all the while, this is a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in all at once, but I'm pretty much sure you got the spirit. So we're gonna just go ahead and launch these guys real quick. Yep, who cares? We're gonna have to wait like 15 more seconds for it. I mean, I know it's probably like worth the wait. If these guys can, like, you know, hurry up.
Your defensive capabilities
And
are
move.
able to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
There we go. They're moving. Hooray! If they could just speed it up and come over here. Alright, here we go. I definitely forgot about that ship. Oopsie. There we go. Oh, we forgot about you. Well, no we haven't. This results in turning around. Something I don't normally do. Alright, we're gonna try it again. Amazing, right? That's not good.
Your defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
Do this to lower down tactical, well, lower down my cooldowns. I pretty much have 50 seconds to spare. See, 93%, not bad. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to use it this time. Nah. Oh. It died too quick. Oopsie. But yeah. The Hydra console is pretty much my favorite console for the for pretty much carriers overall. So when people really much said like MC Stu and Stu 1701 and many others like Augment Dictator Games and stuff, everybody else said that pretty much carriers need a lot of help. And actually, like, not just like not dreadnought carriers, or not what are those other carriers called, like, well, pretty much dreadnought carriers, and there's some other carriers too. There was another type of carrier, but pretty much sure that type of carrier does not need help. But as far as science carriers overall and support carriers, those carriers need help. And they got the help, which of course in the form of Hydra and $30 out of your butthole. But pretty much overall, it's not a bad trait. It's not a bad it's not a bad console either. And actually, those consoles pretty much help carries a lot by a stupid ton. So I'm pretty much sure. I hope they do more of this in the future and stuff like that. And I pretty much love it. I pretty much love this stuff. So, of course, as for this video, we are running out of time, and I wish I could pretty much do more about it. But, of course, I wanted to do a review on Star Trek Picard, but I'm actually going to wait. You want to know why I'm going to wait? Because, of course, it's spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it. So, you know what? I'm actually going to do it, like, somewhat next week. So make sure that everybody watches it. Everybody gets to know what the hell is going on. Some people don't like Star Trek Picard. Some people love Star Trek Picard. Who knows? Who cares? I do, but some people really don't, which is fine with me. Some people say that it's based off Discovery, and they say they get crap from Discovery, which is so annoying because Picard is in its own timeline, which is 2399 to 2401. It's in its own timeline. And of course, I hate to say this, but little hints that, like, Star Trek Online is in its own timeline. I have to say that. Like, STO is in its own timeline. And of course, there's more proof to back it up because of the Iconian War. Because the accidental changes and the Tatarians were removed. So, of course, STO is pretty much in its own timeline because of a certain thing, a certain event that has happened, and pretty much a lot of things that came into play with that, like throughout the past 10 episodes of Star Trek Picard. It's pretty much been like slaps in the face all the while. It's been pretty much, as Sean would say, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird couple of weeks. But other than that, I believe we have run out of time because apparently the video length is actually supposed to be 13 minutes, but who knows how much time we actually have. But of course, that is it for pretty much the Hydra review, because what the Hydra is, it can kill Borg, but it can do more than just kill Borg. It can actually whip the tail end of somebody's backside and could probably lick somebody, unless it could probably make somebody lick your damn foot, because of course, you know, surrender is a bitch. But other than that, of course, I love the Hydra, and I love of course, it depends on what you actually view as a player, because in the end, who is that? That looks like somebody was trying to rush off somewhere. But in the end, it actually depends on what you fly, what you actually love to fly, what you actually love to enjoy as an STO player. Some people like to enjoy it for the content. Some people like to do it just to show off that they got something. Some people like to do it because they want to make DPS stuff. And some people want to do it to get the best content out of the game. And all those are fine. It's just the fact that, like, you shouldn't really you should really, you know, get something because of course somebody said you have to get it, or because somebody else got it. Like, for example, I have Ace Combat 7, and I pretty much post a lot of those videos on my story, and I used to do it on YouTube a lot as well. I don't do those on YouTube anymore because of how stupidly cringe that is. Not to mention, it's pretty outdated, and it's pretty shit now and stuff like that. Like, I do some Ace Combat videos, but I don't do them here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do Star Trek Online stuff here. So that's what I do now. I pretty much do ground reviews and stuff like that, but this is pretty much the first space review because of this ship in particular. It's special, and for some damn reason, it means something to me. Because it is the first ship in all the other ships that they actually got this right. They actually said, like, yo, these carriers need help. We're gonna go ahead and give them the help in the form of a trait and a console that can help them. So, with that in the Swarmer Matrix altogether, you pretty much got 60% bonus damage. Now imagine if they had more consoles and more traits and more stuff like that for carriers, that could help a ton and pretty much make carriers one of the strongest, you know, forms of damage types in the meta. Of course, with this ship can actually do like 1 million damage through recursive shearing, because, you know, recursive shearing, it builds up a lot of damage and it builds up infinite amounts of damage. And because Agony Redistributor was nerfed to the ground to the point where it's like, where it has a grave on it, yeah, that hurts. But, you know, I sometimes use the Agony Redistributor because I have nothing else to put on here. I really don't. And that just comes with a lot of things, and not to mention it only brings up phaser damage, and right now I'm using Zap Vast Disruptors, and I'm so far enjoying using Zap Vast Disruptors. So, and of course I'm enjoying, like, loving green. Like, of course my character, it's pretty much unrevealed at the moment, but at the same time it's pretty much, it's a good trait and console coming from the ship. There's two types of people who want it. The people who want it for the ship. Some people want it for the trait and the console. I'm here because of the trait and the console, because of course I run a carrier as my primary. So for the ship, I fly it from time to time because, you know, I like to show off to people of like, oh, look at how many ships I got. Oh, look at me. Oh, I'm all flashy and stuff like that. That's just how I am. I like to show off. I like to, because everybody at ESD loves doing it. Everybody loves showing off. Everybody likes showing off their colors. Everybody loves showing off what they got. Everybody loves showing off what they have. Everybody likes doing that. And of course, I like to do that too. I'm one of those people. But of course, I have been away from ESD for a very long time, and I'm pretty much happy and comfortable with being away from ESD for a very long time, because, you know, 5-year missions are some things that are pretty much the thing, the main around basis in Star Trek is, which is 5-year missions and, you know, exploring deep space. But of course, Star Trek Online is in its own universe now, pretty much. So of course the creators of Star Trek Online can pretty much write whatever story they want and call it a day. So they can write whatever story they want, and I'm pretty much sure the only hint I begged them to give a hint, and the only hint they gave was the only hint they gave was pretty much at the end of at the season finale of Star Trek Endurance. The end of that clip, that was the end. That was pretty much the teaser we were going to get from, you know, for the next story arc, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I got for the story arc in general, because, you know, that's just how it is. But nonetheless, I believe we have ran out of time. So pretty much for this review, you can get it for the ship, you can get it for the trait and console. There's two types of buyers in that. I got it for the trait and console because I run a carrier as my main. So I pretty much said the reason why I love the console very much is because of its damage output. It's not like what it says. It's not 9K. Not when you can destroy a whole Borg armada with the snap of your fingers. So, and I pretty much I ran this in advance as well, and it destroyed an entire Borg armada in just like that. So it pretty much, it depends on how you time it. It does depend on how you time it. I was going to use the universe for this, but that's not going to work, especially if I do not like pancake starship, big pancake starships. Then that's just me. So yes, we have run out of time. I've said that like 5 times now. So of course I'm going to sign off, and I will see you guys soon. which should be like, you know, of course it should be like, you know, how to, which of course it depends on like which is, either it's the review of Picard, or actually no, as I said, it's going to be next week, so pretty much sure the next one is going to be the ground stuff. It's going to be more ground stuff, so like 90% of my content will be ground stuff soon. And of course I might make a separate channel for that, for ground stuff, because I really do want it to be, you know, specifically for ground stuff. But of course this is like the first in a while for space stuff I've done. So, and I'm not really much of a space brain like pretty much other people are. So, with that in mind, I will see you guys later, and I will see you guys soon, pretty much. Bye-bye.